Prabhupada, 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 Jaya Jaya Prabhupada.
We start with welcome prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
O my Lord, the all-pervading personality of Godhead,
I offer my respectful obeisances unto you.
Narayanam
Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayam Udirayet. Recite the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is the very means of conquest. One should offer respectful obeisances unto the personality of Godhead, Narayana, unto Narayana Rishi, the supermost human being, unto Mother Saraswati, the goddess of learning, and unto Sri Vyasadeva, the author. Nashtaprayeshva bhadreshu nityam bhagvat sevaya bhagavati uttama shloke bhaktir bhavati naishtiki.
by regular attendance in classes on Bhagavatam, and by rendering of service,
Chakshurunmi.
Hare Krishna, everyone. Yes, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So we'll be reading from Canto 10, Chapter 11, verse number 46 to 50. We can start with.
Text music. One day, all the boys, including Krishna and Balaram, each boy taking his own group of calves, brought the calves to a reservoir of water, desiring to allow him to drink. After the animals drank water, the boys drank water there also. Would you like to go?
Right by the river, the boys saw the energetic body resembling a mountain peak, broken and struck down by a thunderbolt. They were afraid even to see such a huge living being.
That great body demon was named Bhakta. He had assumed the body of a duck with a very sharp beak. Having come there, he immediately swallowed Krishna.
When Balrama and the other boys saw that Krishna had been devoured by the gigantic duck, they became almost unconscious, like sadists without life.
50. X50. Krishna, who was the father of Brahma but who was acting as the son of the common man, became like fire, burning the root of the demon's throat, and the demon Bhakasura immediately disgorged him. When the demon saw that Krishna, although having been swallowed, was unharmed, he immediately attacked Krishna with the sharp beak.
We'll be reciting text number 50. Tam talumulam pradahantam agnivad.
Naramulam Pradahantam Agnivad.
Gopalasunam pitaram jagadguru.
Gopalasunam Pitaram Jagadguru.
Chachard sadyo tirushakshatam baka.
Chacharda Sadyo Tirushakshatam Bakas.
Saturdena antum punarbhadyata.
Tunde Antum Punarabhyapadyata.
Tam talulam pradahantam agnivad.
Tam Talumulam Pradahantam Agnivad.
Second line.
Gopala Sunam Pitaram Jagat Guru.
Gopalasunam Pitaram Jagadguru
Chacharda Sadyo Tirushakshatam Bakas.
Chacharda Sadyo Tirushakshatam Bakas
Tundena hantum punar
Tundena
abhyapadyata.
hantum punarabhyapadyata Tam talmulam pradahantamagnivat Gopalasunam Pitaram Jagadguru
Chacharda Sadyo Tirushakshatam Bakas.
Chacharda Sadyo Tirushakshatam Bakas
Tundena hantum punarabhyapadyata.
Tundena hantum punarabhyapadyata
Tam talumulam pradahantamagnivad.
Tam talumulam pradahantamagnivat Gopalasunam Pitaram Jagadguru
Gopalasunam Pitaram Jagadguru.
Chacharda Sadyo Tirushakshatam Bakas.
Chacharda Sadyo Tirushakshatam Bakas
Tundena Hantum Punarabhyapadyata.
Tundena hantum punarabhyapadyata
Tam talumulam pradahantamagnivad.
Tam talumulam pradahantamagnivad
Yes. Gopalasunam Pitaram Yogam.
Gopalasunam Pitaram Jagadguru
Chacharda Sadyo
Tirushakshatam
Tirushakshatam
Bakas
Bakas.
Tundena hantum punarabhyapadyata
Word to word, all together, please. Tam
Tam
Krishna,
Krishna
talumulam,
the root of the throat Pradahantam burning Agnivat like fire Gopalasunam Krishna the son of the powered man Pitaram the father Jagadguru Lord of Brahma Chacharda got out of his mouth Satya immediately Atirusha with great anger Akshatam without being hurt Bakasura Tundena with his sharp beak Hantum to kill Puna again Abhyapadyata delivered
translation, all together, please.
Krishna, who was the father of Lord Brahma, but who was acting as the son of powered man, became like fire, burning the root of the demon's throat. And the demon Bakasura immediately disgorged him. When the demon saw that Krishna, although having been swallowed, was unharmed, he immediately attacked Krishna again with his sharp beak.
Anybody like to read the purpose? Either way.
Although Krishna is always as soft as a lotus, within the throat of Bakasura, he created a burning sensation of being hotter than fire. Although Krishna's whole body is sweeter than sugar candy, Bakasura tasted bitterness and therefore immediately vomited Krishna up.
As stated in Bhagavad Gita 4:11, Ye yatamam prapadyante tam tatheva bhajamiham. When Krishna is accepted as an enemy, he becomes the most intolerable object for the non-devotee who cannot tolerate Krishna within or without. Here, this is shown by an example of Bakasura.
So this is the pastime of Krishna. First of all, thank you so much for giving me this chance.
Jai Ho.
Ho, Jai Ho, Jai Ho, Jai Ho, Jai Ho.
Verse number 49 is very interesting, where it is mentioned that when Balram and the other boys saw that Krishna had been devoured by a gigantic duck, they became almost unconscious, like senses without life. So Balram and all other boys, they had so much affection for Krishna that they couldn't bear this scene of a demon swallowing Krishna. And in Sarthak, Prabhupada mentions completely different thing. He went to some other pastimes, and he mentions, although Balram can do everything, because of intense affection for his brother, he was momentarily bewildered. A similar thing is stated to have happened in the connection with Rukmini Haran, the kidnapping of Rukmini. When Krishna, after kidnapping Rukmini, was attacked by all the kings, Rukmini was momentarily bewildered until Lord took the proper steps. So out of love, they don't know the glories of Krishna, glories of Supreme Personality of Godhead. And out of love, it is seen in every pastime that devotees of the Lord, they get bewildered. And Srila Prabhupada here mentions about Rukmini. When Mother Rukmini saw that she's being kidnapped by Krishna, and when she saw Krishna with tender hands, with tender body, and then she saw her brother and whole army with arms in their hands, she got bewildered. Like, how will Krishna fight these whole army? So for a moment, she got bewildered, and Srila mentioned here that until the Lord took proper steps, until Lord Himself shows that what He is capable of. Because when we see Krishna, He's very tender. A lot of verses where Krishna is being mentioned as lotus eyes, lotus hands, lotus feet. So devotees generally get bewildered. Similar thing happened in the pastime of Sri Ram, as it is mentioned here when Rukmini got bewildered. I remember the pastime of Sri Ram when they were having this competition that who will marry Mother Sita, and there were a lot of demons, a lot of big bodied demons there, and Mother Sita got very sad that but she liked Sri Ram. When she saw her for the first time, she liked Sri Ram, of course, because they are eternal associate. But when the time came to pick up the bow and to break the bow, she got very sad. Like, how will this tender boy pick up? And because if he will not pick up the bow, then he will not get to marry me. And she got very sad. And father of Mother Sita, he was very angry with all the big warriors there because they couldn't lift up the bow. And he said in that assembly that, is there no one here that can break this bow? Because he thought these boys are very tender, and if they cannot break it, all the other kings cannot break it, they surely cannot. So he said this thing that people in this assembly, there is no men in this assembly that can break this bow. And then when Lakshman heard this, that in presence of Sri Ram, in presence of God, he's speaking like this, father of Mother Sita is speaking like this, he got very angry. Lakshman stood up, and they were like under 15, 13 or 14 when he got married, Sri Ram got married. And Lakshman was also very small, and he got up and he was like, hey, imagine king of what was his name?
Mithila.
King of Mithila, Janak, is Maharaj Janak, standing before Maharaj Janak, standing before all others, this 13-year-old boy, Lakshmana, he's saying that, how dare you, in the assembly in which Raghuvanshi Sri Ram is present, how dare you to call this assembly that there is no man in this assembly? And then he asked permission from Sri Ram that, they all are thinking that you're very tender, you're very soft. But what to speak of you? Even I can break this useless. He uses this word in the verse of Ramayana. There are two words that he used. Ka Bapuro Pinag Purana. This Pinag is Purana. This bow, which is very ancient. This is nothing before you. So Mahajanak also got bewildered by the tenderness of Sri Ram, and then Sri Ram is like, okay, he's very sweet. He shows with his example that how to be calm, how to be very sober. So he stopped Lakshman and he said, okay, you sit down. So this is how boys of Vrindavan got bewildered by the tenderness of Krishna, by his laughing, by his smiles, and they thought that I think Krishna will be able to get out of this demon's mouth. In Bhagavad Gita, when Arjuna mentions that, when Krishna mentions in chapter 4, Imam vivasvate yogam proktavan avyam vivasvan manve praha manu ikshvakave bravit, that I was the one who spoke this science of Bhagavad Gita to sun god. Arjuna got bewildered. Wait a minute, you're my friend. You're standing right here. How you can go trillions of years ago? How you spoke this Bhagavad Gita to sun god? And then when Krishna gave him Divya Drishti, Krishna gave him the eyes to see him.
Divine.
Yes, divine eyes. And then when we saw Krishna's universal form with millions of mouths, millions of ears, millions of legs, and he saw past, present, future, everything in one. Then you realized, no, he's something else. And then and then he spoke as follows. Sri Prabhupada mentions that this is one of the conclusion of Bhagavad Gitas, and when we distribute Bhagavad Gita, people have a lot of misconceptions about Krishna, that he was a great personality, that he was just a guru, but nobody knows Krishna as God. And Sri Prabhupada mentions that if Bhagavad Gita was spoken to Arjuna, and if we understand Bhagavad Gita as Arjuna understood it, then it must be certain that we have read Bhagavad Gita. Otherwise, there are a lot of versions of Bhagavad Gita, business Gita, or relationship Gita, maybe 100%. It could be a possibility. There are a lot of Bhagavad Gitas in which all the writers, they are using their own speculations to conclude what Krishna is. But what is Arjuna's conclusion? He heard Bhagavad Gita, right? What is his conclusion? He says, Parabrahma Paramadham Pavitram Brahmam Bhavan Purusham Shashvatam Divyam Adidevam Ajam Vibhum Ahustvam Rishya Sarve Dev Rishi Narada Sata Asito Devalo Vyasa Swam Cheva Bhavishim. Param Brahma, you are supreme. Param Dham, you are supreme abode. Pavitram, you are supremely purified. Param Brahma Param Dham Pavitram Brahmam Bhavan Purusham Shashvatam, you are the eternal Purush. You are the eternal man. Purusham Shashvatam Divyam, you are very divine. Adi Devam Ajam, you are unborn. You are indestructible. So if this is not the conclusion after reading Bhagavad Gita, that means we have to change the author. We have to shift to something in which Bhagavad Gita is described as it is, as Arjuna heard it. And Arjuna also says that after all this, that this is not my conclusion only. The Asito, there is a great saint, Asit, Devlo and Vyasdev. This is their conclusion, and Swam Chev Bhavishim, you are also speaking this. So all these saints, me personally, and you, all three, Sadhu, Guru, Shastra, and you also are speaking this truth that you are the Supreme Lord. So we have to understand Krishna like this. As I was mentioning that, of course, we can sense this after seeing he's being swallowed by Bakasur. I was listening to one class of His Holiness Sarthak way back, and there were different anarthas which Bakasur depicted, and one of them was speaking too much. And he said in Hindi that Bakasur means जो बक बक करते हैं, who speak nonsense or every time. So we have to be very careful of our words. In Krishna, there are a lot of in Vrindavan, whatever demon Krishna kills, whatever demon Krishna kills, there is a reason behind it. There is whole philosophy behind it. Why he is killing that demon. And here, boys got bewildered out of affection for Krishna, and but they didn't know that even, what to speak of Krishna, even their subordinates, like I was talking about Lakshman and all of the subordinates, they are capable of killing such demons, but still they were very bewildered. If you will go to our text number 50, here in the first line it is mentioned that Krishna, who was the father of Lord Brahma, generally, where I come from, in my village, we also worship Lord Brahma, only Lord Brahma, and there are a lot of local demigods, local devatas that we worship. And in Shastras also, they know that the creator of the universe, or what people believe the creator of the universe, it is Brahma. So they always use the example of Brahma, or they indirectly sometimes mention that Krishna, who is the father of Brahma, so that we can know that Krishna is the father of the creator of the universes. I was reading the second canto, and in this canto, Narad Muni glorifies Lord Brahma very profusely. If you will only hear that section of the Vedas of Srimad Bhagavatam, you will believe that Brahma is the supreme personality of God. The way Narad Muni describes Lord Brahma, you are the creator, you are the ultimate creator, you are very great, you are this and that. And then what Brahma says, let me pull up the verse. I lost the verse. Anyways, it was a very interesting verse. Brahma says that potencies of Krishna bewildered souls to think that I am the supreme. Literally, after all this glorification of Krishna, Lord Brahma says this to Narada, that this is because of the ignorance, which is the potency of Krishna, that a soul believes that I am the supreme, but I am not. And then he started to glorify Krishna and his universal form. The mention of Lord Brahma is also very necessary here, because there is one more pastime related to Lord Brahma, and it only shows the greatness of Krishna. And in this verse, when there was no need to mention that Krishna, who is the father of Brahma, they can write this: Krishna killed Bakasur, or Krishna was very angry and Krishna killed Bakasur. But Srimad Bhagavatam, in every verse, they try to knock off various points so that we can understand by the example. Lord Brahma was regarded as a very great personality, and what happened when he saw, me and Alistair who was reading this pastime, where when Brahma saw Krishna for the first time in his abode, when Krishna gave him divine eyes, what Brahma felt. And then you will hear glories of Brahma and how tiny Brahma looked when Krishna shows his eternal form. It was miraculous. And it is mentioned that when Brahma saw Krishna in his original form, and Krishna gave him the divine eyes to see him, to see his dham, see Vrindavan, it is said that he was stunned. All his senses were stunned, and he was fainting, and then gaining his consciousness, and then again he was fainting. So this was what happened to Brahma when he saw Krishna. And It is also mentioned that when Brahma came there and he paid his obeisances, he looked like a golden rod falling again and again. So this is the glories of Lord Krishna. In this pastime, the cowherd boys or even Balram, it is said that out of affection they were ignorant of this fact that Krishna can save himself, Krishna is God. But here in material life, in material world, out of ignorance, I was reading in Shimba, in second canto, chapter 6, chapter 5 actually, where all the elements of how body is created, it is written, and there is something called as false ego. Everybody false ego. So out of false ego, we don't believe that Krishna is God. We are part and parcels of God, and all the tendencies that Krishna has, all the tendencies that Krishna has to enjoy, so it transfers to us. But we have to dovetail it to serve Krishna, not to enjoy ourselves. And this is the process of bhakti. There are various processes of bhakti from which we can remove this ignorance of that we are God, or this false ego. How to know that if we don't believe, right, that we are God, or sometimes if you say that, these people of the world, they believe that we are God, or some people in the world, they believe that we are God, or we think that some people in the world, we don't feel like that we are God. There might be some people outside this area, or me. I'm not the one that would believe that I am God. What are the symptoms? Like a diseased person, there are symptoms that can show that he is diseased. What are the symptoms that yes, you are believing that you are God? You want to enjoy. Krishna wants to enjoy every time. Eternally he wants to enjoy. If you want to satisfy your senses, if you want everybody to satisfy your senses, it means it is false ego. You believe that yes, you are God. You are not servant of God. You are not part and parcel of God. You are God. These are some of the small symptoms. It goes too higher when some people literally believe that I am God. But these are some of the small fractions in which we can understand that we still have these tendencies of believing that we are God. And what more? If I may ask this question, what do you think? What are some of the symptoms which we don't go outside to the world, see in yourself that this is in me, or this is what I see in people, that only Krishna can have, or it suits Krishna, like enjoying eternally. It suits Krishna, but this attitude doesn't suit the part and parcel or the servants of God. So, if you have any answers to this, what kind of more symptoms do you see in human beings that make you believe that they are trying to be God? Yes.
They don't want to accept the authority of God.
Yes.
They don't want someone higher than them. If there's someone, they may be equal to me or lower than me, not higher than me.
Yes. Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, there is no truth bigger than me. Anybody remembers the verse? I think so. It was very, yes, I think so. It was very sharp. Like there is no one better than me. So this is attitude of Krishna. There is no one greater than me.
This is the one.
Which one?
Matta Pradharananya.
Kinchit asti.
Kinchit.
Okay. And?
Yes. Maisa idam bhaktam sudevani kanaiva.
Yes.
There is no truth superior to me. Everything rests upon me.
Yes, O conqueror of wealth, there is no truth superior to me. Everything rests upon me. As pearls are strung on a thread. So this is attitude of Krishna. This is who God is. Everything. If we will start to believe that everything is, rests on me, I'm the one. If I will not be here, we sometimes go that way, right? If I will not be there, who will take care of my family? If I will not be there, who will take care of this thing? If I'm not there, who will take care of the service? That's that attitude of God. So yes, you are believing. Don't go outside when we say of in material world people think we are the people of material world, and we sometimes think like that. One more thing that Krishna has is attention seeking. When Krishna was coiled with Kaliya, Krishna was waiting. He could have jumped out of Kaliya's hood and stand above Kaliya's hood and started dancing, but he was waiting, and he was again and again looking. He was acting as he was dead, but he was looking if Brajvasis are all around. He was seeking attention. That okay, if everybody will be there, every single gopi, every single motherly gopi, every single gopa, they would be there. Then I will show my dance. This is the tendency of Krishna, seeking attention. Every time he's doing it is said that Krishna's pastimes are going eternally. He's seeking attention eternally. In the pastime of Ukhal Bandhan Leela, with Mother Yashoda bound Krishna with the mortar, he was seeking attention of Mother Yashoda. That's why he got angry. So these tendencies only suit Krishna. And then still 5,000 years ago it happened, and now we are speaking of his glories. But it doesn't suit us. So whenever this tendency comes, think that yes, we are in that road of thinking that we are God. If we need attention, if we want to enjoy. These were some of the points that shows that how we are conditioned in this material world by this three mode of material nature: mode of goodness, mode of passion, and mode of ignorance. And in second canto, 5th chapter, Prabhupada mentions the definition of bhakti. Okay, we are trying to be God, who is Krishna, but okay, what is bhakti then? If we don't want to be God, what is bhakti? He mentions that theist people, there are atheist people who don't believe in God, and there are theist people who believe there is God, and God is a person, and he also has senses like us. He also feels angry. This is all transcendental. This is not mundane. He also feels sad. He also cries, but on a transcendental level, which we can only realize when we are ourselves situated in the transcendental level. So he says that how we can connect with Krishna, how we can satisfy Krishna's senses. He says, what is bhakti? Bhakti is satisfying Krishna's senses. He uses the word which was very, very rare, and I never saw this. He said that believe that Krishna has senses. This was really good. This was really eye-opening, that sometimes we really have to believe that Krishna has senses, and that's why we will be in the path of satisfying them. So bhakti is satisfying senses of Krishna. And what is not bhakti? Satisfying our senses. And you will realize this by sitting in Bhagavatam class, by chanting Krishna Mahamantra. When somebody will tell you that be conscious of what you're doing. Bahunam Janmanam Ante. After many births, one realizes. How he realizes? By Sadhu Sangha. When he is in the association of devotees, they make him realize that wait, you're trying to satisfy your senses again and again. Are you gaining something? You have plans, you have more plans. Bhagavatam says, Shram evahi kevalam. All these plans, all the work that we do without Krishna consciousness, and without keeping in mind that we are not this body, we are soul. It is Shram, it is useless labor, not labor, useless labor. Because we believe that we are this body, and we are doing this to satisfy our body, but this body will go away. Matmanena jahati antataha. Bhagavatam says that why you are taking care of this, why you are too much attached to this body, which will, jahatiyo antataha means, which will leave you at the end. You do all this, I will do this good job, and then, I will do this course, I will do this, I will do this. Why? So that I can earn money. Why? Because I want a good car, I want a good family, I want good things to eat for this body. And what will happen? Jahatiyo antataha. After everything, it will leave. So reading Srimad Bhagavatam, it will make you conscious that you will leave this body. So this is one of the sum and bonum of spiritual realization. When a person realizes that he will leave his body, then he acts accordingly to what is necessary or what is important for the soul. Thank you so much. Any questions, corrections?
Thanks very much for doing the class, at the last minute. You were asked. At one of our midterm meetings for the GBC, we went to the Tirupati, and I was asked to give the class. I was in the queue, like everybody else. You get the Bhagavatam class, and the subject matter was about people thinking they're God. So after going through reciting the verse and the purport and everything like that, it just came natural to me to ask one of the local men who were there, brahmachari, said, please stand up. And they stood up. So declare boldly to everyone in this room, in the temple room, I am God. Just say, I am God. Okay, so he did, I am God. And I asked him, how did you feel? Was it natural? And he said, absolutely not. It didn't feel natural at all. But still there's something kind of subtle inside of us that allows us to believe that I am really unique. I am special. When I was born, something, the world changed. For the better.
You mentioned this once, and then when I will be gone, the world will miss something. That we believe this.
Very personal. Very personal, like very personality.
Sorry?
Very personal Krishna.
Oh, yeah, I'm not sure about that.
Thank you, Maharaj.
Yeah, just call it something that was fun.
Thank you, Prabhu. It was a very insightful class.
Yeah.
I had a question regarding, you said we should not think that we are this body and we should act on the level of soul, right? And you said whatever we do without realizing that we are not this body and without being Krishna conscious is like useless labor. Then my question is like, what is the right way of doing things? You still have to do a job, you still have to be in this world, you have to associate with these material things, you have to take care of your family, you have to do what you have to do. Then what is the right way of doing it?
Maharaj?
Oh, you want to give it a shot? No.
Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that one has to even work to maintain his body. And Srimad Bhagavatam also says that Sukadeva Goswami, when he goes on speaking of verses, like why people are having big houses, why people are not just satisfied with the land, why people are just not satisfied with the river, why people are not satisfied with fruits, with vegetables, they want more and more. He says one thing, just to maintain. That's why we say we have to maintain our body. So when we are working somewhere, we have to just maintain, and keeping in mind that this is also a certain type of ignorance. There was one lecture of His Holiness Tamal Krishna Goswami Maharaj, and in the title, it is mentioned. I saw the title and it said that first be in the body and then transcend it. So yes, don't be pseudo spiritualist or something like that. So just be in the body, take care of the body, and yes, then transcend it. So yeah, Maharaj, if you want to add something.
Yeah, what in essence were you saying? What is the right way?
Right way of doing things, like he said. Yeah.
Well, as you said, chapter 3 tells us we have to be active. We must work. Karma yoga. Then in chapter 4, the Lord speaks about the 4 social and spiritual orders of life. So you got to fit into one of those boxes. And you have to act according to those codes, based on your modes. And so if you identify as a Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra, do that and just follow what goes along with that course. That's all. So be dharmic, is the word. That's be dharmic and try to stay with that. And then eventually you can go beyond dharma. Sarva dharma, So, but first be conscious, and then you can become Krishna conscious. There was some years ago when we first started our AGM for the leaders across Canada. One of our devotees, Vivias from Montreal, gave a presentation. He was just talking about green temples, green communities. And because we're using styrofoam cups and plates and everything, especially for some big feast, and he opened up his presentation by saying, first be conscious, then you become Krishna conscious. So first get your act together, be green, don't spoil the environment, no one's going to take this seriously. So first be conscious, and then you can become Krishna conscious. So you go beyond. First follow the codes, and then you'll be able to get beyond the lines. Does that make sense? So be dharmic, be righteous.
Yes. Go ahead. No, I just want to add. Go ahead.
Well, you want to add to this point?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay. Oftentimes I've met people and they think, oh, when I have to become spiritual, that means I have to leave everything. I cannot go outside with my friends. I have to detach. But Krishna is saying something really different in Bhagavad Gita 8.3. He's saying, you might want to pull that up as well. He's saying, Tasmat sarveshu kaleshu ma manusmrayodesha. And then Maya arpita mano buddhi. These 2 lines are really important. He's saying ma manusmrayodesha. That means think of me while you're fighting. And then he's saying 8.7.
You said
3. Yeah.
Oh, is that? Sorry.
You did. I heard it. I'm a witness.
Yeah. And Maya arpita mano buddhi. He's saying just surrender your mind onto me. And then I believe Maharaj in one of your class you were mentioning this verse. 12.14. And that Krishna is again saying the same thing, that Maya arpita mano buddhi. That means surrender your intelligence onto me. And if Krishna is trying to state that point, now if I'm mentioning one point again and again, that means it is important. Listen to me, right? And Krishna is mentioning again in 12:14. Maya arpita mano buddhi. Just give that thing to me. Think of me while you're doing anything. So actually it's 12.13 and 14 together, but then we're gonna eat 14. We are going to eat 14. Yeah.
Okay. Ma manusmrayodesha, yes.
Maya arpita mano buddhi. So
How's arpita? How's it translated there?
of surrender, arpanam, like
Okay, like your name.
yeah. English. Your Papa just give language. Yeah, give your mind to myself and do the same thing, that oh, I'm doing this thing for the pleasure of Krishna. If I'm getting dressed nicely, or if I'm trying to earn, I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna go and use in front of Krishna, right? If I'm earning more Lakshmi, let's say in one sense, because we have to work, well, these wonderful this wonderful family is given to me by my family, by Krishna. I have to serve them. I have to execute my dharma because he's saying, do your dharma, as Maharaj mentioned. Yeah, this was small line I wanted to mention.
Small.
Very small.
Yeah, I had a family friend back in India who was also a psychologist, and he was giving me advice on what to read, what scriptures to read. And he said, you should not read someone else's interpretation. Make your own interpretation of the Gita and read it. Because especially ISKCON has, a certain interpretation and look to the Gita and how it should be read. And Prabhu, you also covered that there are so many interpretations of the Gita in its own ways, and how do you do it and how you go through it. And I've seen, of course, here as devotees as well, that we told to stick to a certain kind of, and not speculate on the words of the acharyas. So my question was, is there any scope in which we can speculate or can we discuss, or how does that work? Because I don't know, do we just read it and not do contemplate on it at all, or do we contemplate and speculate and think about it, or get our own interpretation to the text as well?
Well, one way to look at it is that Bhakti said, I'm going to give you an example of honey in a jar, which is a cap on it. And if you've never had honey before, you can just, it looks a little bit like oil. Maybe it tastes like oil. Or maybe it looks like some kind of jam. So you can just keep speculating about it, but then the only way you're really going to know is you're going to unscrew the cap, put your little index finger there and taste it for yourself. So, okay. Yeah, so you try devotional service for yourself. There is some direct perception of the self. That's a very famous verse in the Bhagavad Gita, right? Raja Vidya, Raja Dhyana, starts like that. You can be independent. Prabhupada encouraged some independent thinking when it comes to analyzing a verse. Like say, for instance, Krishna says, I'm the taste of water. So then we try to understand, what does that really mean? I'm the taste of water. How is Krishna the taste? So try to contemplate. Yeah, it's okay to do that. But I would be really, really skeptical about just leaving it open for your own interpretation. I don't think anybody should really do that. Bring out an apple, so, what is this apple made of? What are all the constituents of the apple? Think about it. Says, well, I don't have any, but maybe why don't you talk to a person, a grower of apples, Maybe he can tell you, it's constituted of this ingredient and that ingredient. Why not go to somebody who knows it already? Why waste your time trying to figure it out? Make up words and, you need guidance, we need to be held by our hand.
That's again one of the symptoms of a person who thinks they're God.
Yeah, I can take care of things, I'll figure it out. I'm it. I'm King Tut, King Shiva. I know everything. I haven't known everything. I never heard that one before. There's no way, just like these tables here, how did they get assembled? Somebody did it, so if you're left to say, how is it assembled? You can try to figure it out, but maybe if you save yourself a lot of time, maybe go to somebody who's the table maker. It's good to hear from God, by the way. The Bhagavad Gita is a book by God. Yes. All right. So we'd like to recognize the Messianic visitors that we have here. Chira, of course, all the way from
Winnipeg. Hey.
All the way from, let's say, Winterpeg.
Yes.
From Manitoba.
Exactly, yeah.
We love Manitoba. We love it, I think. Good, and then we have the other devotees here.
Della.
Hello. And where are you from? Tell us where you're.
I live here in Toronto.
Oh, good. Great, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And then we have your son.
Asking back home.
Yes, you can tell us whatever you like.
From India.
You're from India.
Yeah, from Punjab.
Okay. And your name is?
Pawan.
Pa-
Pawan.
Pavan Deep?
You
Deep.
can call me Pawan.
Deep Life. Okay.
Deep.
And Prabhu, you've been with us from the very, very beginning. You came at 4:20, something like that. So, and your name is again?
Adam.
Okay. And you're from?
You're from Brampton.
Brampton. Okay. That's far away.
Yeah, I'm from Bhakta.
You're from
Hey.
Brampton too? All right. Well, thank you very much. And now we're gonna, thank you so much. We didn't know.